There it is. Is that better? I know it's blinding, but it looks better, huh?
Yeah, but you need to tilt down the camera just a little bit.
Making adjustments here. Uh-oh, we're on.
Ding.
I think it
Okay.
needs to go this way a little bit more. All right. See if we get any people.
I'm here.
And hopefully our jetpack works. Been having a problem with it.
One thumbs up.
6 people. There we go. It's alive.
Hey, everybody.
Does that light help any? Can you guys see us better tonight? Howdy, Dave.
Live chat. Hi, Diana.
Diana's here. Hi.
We feel like hey, Seymour, we feel like we're being interrogated because of that light, but at least maybe you guys can see us better.
Yeah, when I look
See
over
the
there and I
shadow?
can't see.
Yeah.
It's bright, huh? Kate says, why do we have this light on? It's irritating me. Hi, Mom. So we're all here.
Ooh, what's that?
Yeah, we're gonna do a little bit different thing tonight. We're gonna do a more of a discussion on circumstances that are happening in the world, and whether this is a good time or not to choose to become a full-time RVer. And I know a bunch of you guys are already. So a lot of this, I'm hoping you guys will participate a little bit, because what I want to do is get you guys' input in here too, so that hi Dougie, Doug's here.
Hi, Dougie.
So that we can maybe help some of these people that have been on the fence for a while. So anyway, I'm going to kind of start. I mean, you guys have kind of heard our story, but it never hurts to repeat things once in a while. And what's wrong?
Look at the shadows in the back.
What, do you want that off?
No.
You guys like the light, or do you not? If you turn that light on behind us, I don't know what that would do though. Anyway,
we need one of those ring lights.
Hence our name, Economic Refugees. We got we had our problems in 2008. Actually, in 2010, we actually were doing pretty good in 08 and 09. But by 2010, I mean, we started using up our reserves, and business had really slowed down, and things were just kind of going crazy for us. And we had to make some quick decisions quickly in order to figure out whether we were going to try to keep our house and keep our business, which there were. That means he wants to go to bed. Whether we wanted to keep our house and keep our business, and we probably would have ultimately lost it. When I opened my shop, there was me and the Harley dealer, and then after a little while, there was 9 independent shops. Of course, I ended up having to. Things are going crazy. Or what's blinging? I guess it's my phone. I gotta stop this. Damn. I can't do this tonight with all this blinging going on. What's going on here?
You turn down your volume on your phone. So we have to turn the covers down when Cage starts acting up like that on the bed, because he does crazy 8s on the bed, and he tears up the denim bedspread that I made.
Okay, there we go.
Like literally, he tears it up.
So anyway, we're facing kind of the same circumstance. And
hi, Brad says, yeah, leave the light.
Okay. And the thing about it is it turned out to be probably the best thing that we could have done. But the thing is diesel was getting expensive. We were paying $4 a gallon for diesel or more on the road when we first took off. Um, but the thing is the prices of the RVs started coming down, and um, I said, well, if fuel gets to $5 a gallon, we'll run with $5 a gallon fuel until it comes back down, and it did. I mean, we were down for a while there. We were in the twos.
Yeah.
So that made it, when you're buying 250, 275, anything under $3 a gallon for diesel, you're traveling. You can move along pretty good. Makes a big difference. That extra dollar or two a gallon really makes it starts making it a painful trip. So, oh, Idaho Hillbilly, I've been watching. That's I want to throw him out there. You guys need to go watch him. He's great. He's funny and very entertaining.
Good channel.
Yeah, great channel.
Good
He's him and his wife are really neat. And yeah, I kind of binge watched him last night. Anyway, so the thing is I know everybody's wanting to hunker down real hard, and you can do that. And we're kind of hunkering down again, like with COVID. This thing's been dragging on, man. The crap started, which I'm not supposed to use that word, but the garbage started in basically in 2019 with the COVID thing. They were taking everybody off the road, and just by locking everybody down, and it was horrible. I mean, that was like it didn't matter what the fuel or anything was because you just couldn't do anything. So right now, I think you're about to see the prices of these RVs start going down. So if you have wanted to get into this lifestyle and wanted to get an RV and do these things, this might be. And I'm not an expert on this. I mean, we were in business for a long time, and we learned a couple of tricks that allowed us that, like, when times are bad, that's when you buy. When times are good, that's when you save. And the thing is it's when things start getting bad, you get afraid to buy. But when things are good, um, you don't want to save, you want to spend. So it's exactly the opposite of what you would think. And that's why we're not taught how to be in business for ourselves and stuff. We're taught to go out and get a job and just live life in a box, so that when they want you, they can knock on your door and you're going to be on the other side of it. With these, when you're in this, you
in
can
a
be
box.
you're in a
wheels.
you're in a box with wheels, but you can be anywhere, and it makes things a little more difficult for people. I mean, life was never meant to be something where we're always being under the gun and people are watching us and listening to our phone calls and watching this and everything else. So, um, if anyone has anything they want to throw in this too, I mean, please throw up in the comments, because I think we left the comments on so people can go back and watch them. But the everybody just likes the light. That's what I mean. Like, leave the light on. Yeah, it's good. Anyway, I was thinking many RV owners may uh, sell soon. Well, yeah, and the dealers.
Hi, Eldon.
Yeah, that's Siwa. The dealers are coming down on their prices right now. Things are starting to change a little bit, and the reason is it's just like we were not supposed to drive SUVs, and we're not supposed to drive Hummers, and we're not supposed to do it. But what's the government? I mean, you look at all the cop cars are all SUVs. Everything, Suburbans. I mean, they're just if they practice what they preached, what they tell us to do, they would all be riding in Subarus. You remember those little Subaru cars where the front opened? I mean, that's what they want us to do. They want to put us in a position where we are driving things that we don't want to drive. I mean, I've driven small cars, and I don't. A small car to me is a Corvette. I mean, that's the smallest car I want to drive. Um, the thing about it is they want us to get in these little boxes, and then you get out there on the road, and you get up against any kind of a SUV or anything, man, they could just blow you away and put you in the dirt. So I mean, I like driving a pickup truck.
Hi, Carlos and Linda.
All right, just the two of us.
Wasn't long ago, maybe 15 years ago, people were parking their Ford Explorers and buying more fuel-efficient cars. Yeah. Still in Arizona looking for what's next. Don't get me started, Dave says. It's control. COVID was the beginning.
Well, and looking into these electric cars, they were building electric cars before they were building gas power cars. And the reason why steam engine cars and electric cars went by the way for the gasoline and diesel power cars is because they sucked and the gas and diesel cars don't. I mean, you don't have to sit for 5 hours and charge a freaking battery. You could just in 15 minutes you got a soda and some chips or something, and your tank is full and you're back on the road. And of course, it takes a little longer to fill one of these 100-gallon tanks on a motorhome, but it's still a lot faster than 5 hours. Right there in Quartzsite at the Carl's Jr., they got a big electric farm behind there, and the people from LA cannot make it to Phoenix on one charge, so they have to sit there for at least 2 hours at Carl's Jr. and charge their batteries so they can make it to Phoenix so they can charge it again. So, I mean, it takes your travel speed from like 60 miles per hour average down to 22. They figure the average electric car will travel over the average in the same amount of time, 22 miles per hour, because it takes so much longer. So, those are things that we're having to deal with all this energy stuff, and there's no reason for it. I mean, we work down there by the oil fields. They say down there in Texas we have more oil than they do in Saudi Arabia, and I know up there in Williston, that place is, and also the Alaska. There's a lot of oil. We are number one in on this planet for oil. We have all the oil we need. We could run this country. We could everybody drive like drunken sailors in an SUV and still have our 2,000 years of fuel. So it's all a big lie. Everything we've been taught as kids, we were taught that back when Jimmy Carter was president, that we were topped out. We peaked on oil, and we had to do odd and even with our license plates, and everybody was getting little cars, and then all of a sudden one day it was just different president came in, and all of a sudden we had all the oil in the world, and get your big car out of the garage, and you know that's one of the main things. So to get back with the RV, as far as the RVs go, I mean, even if you're a vanner, a lot of these vans are not going to be doing 25 miles to a gallon. And I don't know. I said the other day they came out with a new EV motorhome that will go 100 miles a day on one charge, on a full charge.
Hi, Charlie Porch. Hi, Jason and Amanda. Let's see. An electric RV covered with solar panels making it so you wouldn't need to stop at a charging station would be cool. Yes, Seymour.
Yeah, but they only go 100 miles.
Paid $5.29 for fuel in Parker the other day. Got 40 cents off with Albertsons points.
Yeah, our fuel right now in town is
$4.79.
$4.79 for diesel and $3.65 for gasoline.
Right. Talked to a guy who was charging his car and asked him how long it took to charge. He told us 30 minutes.
Yeah, but that's just a bumper. It just gives you a quick jolt. And if you research what they do to this world to get that stuff to make those batteries, and then when they go to dispose of them, and it takes a lot of diesel and energy to make those batteries. It's not real. It's smoke and mirrors. The whole thing is a lie.
I wrote to Tesla asking them to make a fully self-contained electric RV that would recharge its batteries by solar while boondocking, Seymour says.
Well, yeah, they got that. But it travels when you're driving it. It goes 100 miles a day. So if you want to go from Arkansas to Arizona, you're going to have to leave in August to get there. I mean, it's just 100 miles a day is not very far.
Peak oil is BS. You're right, Bill.
Yeah.
$4.99 for diesel in Shreveport.
How much?
$4.99 a gallon.
Yeah.
Hope all is well. See y'all in a few after this mega storm tomorrow through Mississippi. Jason and Amanda. Yep.
Yeah.
433 gas in. Hi, Karen. Westlaco, Texas.
Yeah.
We're supposed to run out of oil 50 years ago, and then we were supposed to have an ice age. The oceans were going to rise, and everyone will drown.
Yeah, and that was when we were in high school. Darla and I were in high school, and
Yeah.
I remember.
So we lived in Southern California, and Santa Fe Springs was like a big oil territory, and you always saw little grasshoppers going up and down. And then all of a sudden, you didn't see them anymore, and they said, "Well, we're out of fossil fuel.
The fields went dry. They
No,
were
there
dry.
is no more. Guess what?
They're
They're all running again today.
They capped them.
All those old little grasshopper pumps, they're all running again.
Well, what they did is they went in there, they capped the wells, and they put all these big tilt-up buildings and made it in a big industrial area.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden they were checking stuff, and the oil was coming. I mean, in Santa Barbara, in Bakersfield, the oil just boils up on top of the ground. It gets so hot because of the pressure of all the oil down there. Well, it's the same way in Santa Fe Springs. So now you go there, and behind every tilt up is 4 pumps pumping oil.
How fast is the Tesla charger at home? A Tesla wall connector offers the fastest charging speed for your home or office, adding up to 44 miles of range per hour charged.
But it won't do a neighborhood. Where does electricity come from? How do you think a bunch of solar panels and those wind generators are going to be able to charge a family where there's 2 electric cars?
543 in Council, Idaho.
Yeah, that was one of your videos I watched where you're $300 round trip in your motorhome to Boise. That's crazy.
You should buy one in Arizona. You can boondock with a 100-mile travel limit. 100 miles is restrictive, though.
Yeah, well, what if we drove 1,300 miles in 3 days? 13 on the way home. Of course, we came 40, which is like I think we created some problems in the motorhome by driving down that road. But
yeah, we already told you guys about that.
Yeah,
it was an experience.
Yeah, but to get back to the point I was trying to make, and like I say, this is going to be for more people that watch this because we get a lot more views after than we do actually when it's on.
But we appreciate you.
Yes. Oh, well, absolutely. You're the base of this organization here. But the thing is this may be a really good time to buy an RV. This may be the time to buy that extra big diesel pusher and everything else, because
it's also like if you look at the whole market picture, it's probably a really good time to sell your house because prices are very inflated right now. It's probably not a great time to buy.
And the word is get off the coast, especially the West Coast. The further away from the West Coast you get, the better you're going to be, because they've got that loony stuff just locked in over there, and it's Washington and Idaho hillbilly. I believe your name is Tony. Was saying that a lot of the crazy California and Washington and all that, those laws are all starting to infest Idaho, and I know it's doing it. We know people that are leaving Arizona right now because of what's going on there. So there's a lot of lunacy in this world. You can run, you can't always hide, but if you're in an RV, you have a better shot at hiding.
Jason and Amanda said we forgot we're in Central Time.
Yes,
you are.
Yeah.
Slinger, Wisconsin, USA. Hi. Good to see you here. RV floor plans. Alternative energy is great, but it's just not there yet. Maybe someday. That being said, you don't destroy the whole world over it. True.
Well, if it worked, if it worked as good or maybe better than what we have, it would be a no-brainer. But it hasn't proven to me that it works. I mean, I've watched them build the Volt and all these other electric cars, and probably the closest thing to being an actual functioning electric car is a Prius, and it's got a gas motor in it. So, in order to make the electric part work, they have to have a gasoline powered engine in it. And then it's, I mean, the, some of the people that drive them are scary. They drive those things so freaking fast. I don't know.
If we cower and give in, we lose. We have to keep our freedom.
Yeah, well, it's true. And
Carlos and Linda, my sister listed her house near Houston for $250,000. It sold for $300,000. Yes. Yep.
yeah,
People
but
want something, they offer $20,000 to $50,000, sometimes $100,000 over what a person's asking.
and see, that's what happened to us in where we lived. Our house appraised at 685,000, and we got told. I had a guy come out and a customer, and he came out and did a appraisal on our house just off the cuff. He goes 685 is what the with the comps and everything on this house. But he goes, you would get a lot more than that. You'd probably get 750,000.
And that's what we should have sold.
And that was in like late 06, and we should have sold it. The reason why I didn't is because Darla and I both had the hardships as children and moving out early out of our houses and all that kind of stuff. And I wanted our daughters and my
Our
son.
son was already gone and
Our
married.
son had already, gone and married. But I wanted them to be able to decide when they wanted to leave, not because we needed them to leave. So we waited. The last one moved out in like what, one
Oh,
night?
wait.
Oh, wait.
Mm-hmm.
And it was too late then.
Doug says, I'm leaving Vegas soon. The grid will not support everyone having electric cars. This is all smoke and mirrors to bring in global world governments. They need us all on a level playing field. That's their aim, to bring down all our economies. Agreed. Well, I love my Prius, 51 miles to a gallon.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying, but it's not an electric car. Does it have a gasoline engine, or is it 100% electric? Do you have to charge it every night in order to go, or could you just go out and push a button, it starts and it's charging? It's basically your engine is a generator. It doesn't drive the wheels. It's like a train. If you know anything about a train they have these great big gigantic huge diesel engines that turn generators. And there's on the wheels on the locomotives, they have electric motors, and those are engines. And when those engines fail, they go into a repair shop. They go in, they drop the wheels and the engine and everything out, and put a new assembly in. But they use like 26,000 gallons of fuel a day per engine. So
I'm going to be selling my house and everything this spring, live out of my RV for at least a year, and may buy as a first-time homeowner in a different location with lower property taxes. Seymour.
yeah.
Good idea.
Well, one of the advantages that we found by becoming a full-time RVers and traveling the country was the ability to figure out where the heck we wanted to be. And unfortunately for my brother, and we thought this is a really good area. I mean, I had a guy pull up in the driveway the other day, and he asked me if I was renting here, and I said, no, we bought this land, and he goes, well, I just want to let you know, right around the corner, you go here, go around, I have a place for sale. And I said, okay. By owner. And it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, and it's a nice looking house. Yeah. If it's the one we think it is. Right. It's got a big, huge shop, and it's got a 40-foot long RV cover on 10 acres for $150,000. Where are you going to get that anywhere else? Now, I'm going to
property taxes. I shouldn't keep saying we should just shut up.
Well, there's some. Every time there's a guy on YouTube and he does the best places to live and the worst places to live.
Never move to Arkansas.
And it's always we're always on the worst hills. And I'm not going to tell you this is absolute paradise here. It's not. No, but where we come from, this is absolute paradise. I mean, when we grew up in the East LA area, And I mean, the town that her and I grew up in weren't that bad, but everywhere you went around it was. I mean, you had to be careful, and
Yeah.
you would hear gunfire at night in my city, and
There were places you just didn't go,
yeah,
day or night.
yeah, there was, it was. And I used to have to go to downtown LA, man, because I worked for a Ford dealer, and we used to deliver car when I was a kid. I was like 17. I was scared to death down there.
Dave says, "Oh well, that's excellent. I'm on my way."
Yeah. Well, there's places that are absolutely phenomenal. I mean, when we lived in California and we lived down where we did down there by East LA, it was 25 miles to the beach. It was 30 miles to the mountains. It was, 75 miles to the desert. And, you could ride motorcycles everywhere and go skiing and surfing. I surfed the whole Southern California coast. I mean, I had a blast as a kid. I loved it. It was the greatest place to grow up. And my dad always wanted me to come here. This is where my family has lived here over, I don't know, probably what,
Couple hundred, at
couple of
least.
100 years. My first ancestor here was in this country. I don't know,
From where?
from Scotland.
Scotland, yeah. But
1775. That's the first person she was able to find. Never met him. Anyway, bad joke. Anyway, the thing is that this area around here, my dad, man, he lived here his whole life. I mean, well, he didn't
well, he
live
was
here his whole life.
born
He was
and
born
died in
and
the
died
same
here.
city, same
And
town.
he lived here the majority of his life. He just
Yeah.
happened to go to California and meet my mom. So
We saw a motorhome towing a truck with a golf cart on the back with a kayak. The truck was wiggling all over the place. They were going about 70.
yeah, well,
We forgot it was Daytona Bike Week.
the trouble is the weight is too far back. You got to put when you do a trailer, you want to bring the weight to where you got just like 150 pounds of tongue pressure. You can balance those. We have a U-Haul trailer, and when we moved that shop, that was one of the things. We got it really, really close, but we're just a little tiny bit too light.
It kept people off your tail.
Well, no, we moved. I kept moving stuff forward every time we stopped. And finally, we got it where it was perfect. And then we could do whatever we needed to do.
Jason and Amanda said they forgot it was Daytona Bike Week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Seymour
it's
says,
over now, though, I think.
I may do like you have and park on land. I like what you've done. And then Dougie says, ask your neighbor how much he needs to hold it.
Really?
We're still trying to find out who the guy was because
I think I see him again today. I'll get a hold of him.
I mean, it's a really small town, so I'm sure we can find him.
Yeah. Well, I think he drives up and down the street all the time. So I'll try to get him. I'll talk to him. I'll tell you the bad thing for me is my shop is my tailgate on my truck.
Yeah, and I think he drove by and I think he saw Bill working on something because
I was working on the hitch.
Yeah.
I got my hitch done. Yay! Now it goes over and it hooks on the front. And
if anybody wasn't here and doesn't understand, we have a base plate that's like the
too narrow,
are this far apart, and it needs to be this far apart. So when you swing the hitch onto the bumper,
well, it's onto the little things.
The base plate, it doesn't line up right. So he had to cut the.
I got a piece of steel. I cut it, shaped it, and then today I cut the bracket off of the actual hitch, and I took the bracket over today. The guy charged me $10. I mean, around here, I'm telling you, you walk in and you're nice to people, and they'll do stuff for you. Just give me $10. And he welded it up, beautiful weld job. I mean, primo. And now I just one arm comes loose, goes over, lands on top of the other one, slides over. You put the pin in, and it mounts up on the front of the truck
instead of on the back of the motorhome.
Right, because normally with the tow bars, they fold against the back of the motorhome. Well, this is more like a Jeep style, is what it is. It's the Blue Ox. Can't remember what the name is. It starts with an A anyway.
But if you've been with us for a while and heard Bill talking, we keep having problems with it, with the tow setup that we've had, burning off our tires. We had to go buy another new tire last Monday.
Yeah, just because for some reason and the truck always sat way over to the right.
So we just got this.
So this thing is now it's in the center. It goes on a ball, on a 2-inch ball, and it tows beautiful, man. I mean, I forget it's even back there now. Before I could always, I could actually, when the tow bars start wearing out, I could see the truck out the side mirror. You should be able to do that. I mean, the truck, this is a 102-inch wide motorhome. You shouldn't be able to see any of that truck unless you're doing a turn or you're looking in the camera. And so anyway, we got the truck fixed, so that's a good thing.
Larry William Harris, we want to do the full-time RV thing, but health issues have put that on hold. We live in Arizona. Mobile prices have doubled in the last 4 years, hoping things will continue to rise for a while. I wasn't laughing at you, Larry. I was laughing at the next comment. Jason and Amanda said tacos. Woohoo!
Yeah, Tuesday. Tomorrow's Taco Tuesday. If you drive fast, you can get here in time. They're going to be our first victims. They're going to
2 eggs in a basket.
Yeah, we're going to
2 eggs, 1 basket RV.
We never used our other system over here. So this would be the first, our other pedestal. I'm looking into getting another truckload of rock, but I don't think I can get it here in time for before you get here. But they'll be fine out here. There's enough rock. I may have to move a little more. I moved a little bit around the pedestal and stuff over there. So, but where the motorhome parks would be no problem. We have a shovel now. I bought a shovel. I used to have a bunch of shovels, and then she sold them all in yard sales. But yeah, so that's one side of the picture. Now, and I think really that could be taken as either good or bad. It depends on how you think about it. Like I say, we were the refugees. We knew that if we hung where we were at, it was just going down with the Titanic. We were just moving chairs around on the Titanic, and we didn't want to do that. We just wanted to sell everything off, pay off everything we could, and get out of there. We had to compromise. Yeah, well, pretty much. Yeah, some people compromise with us a little bit, but not most people. They don't like to compromise. But we had gone through it before when we had the electronics business.
And we thought it was just another recession.
Yeah, it wasn't a recession, man. These things are designed. This is how they steal our money. This is how they steal our money. And the same thing. Remember in 2008, before 2008, the houses were just going up and up and up and up, and they were giving people loans that couldn't afford the loans. And some people, I sold my first house. I sold it to this couple, and they never made a payment,
Not one.
Because we went through it then, and I was trying to sell my house, and
that was in 81.
Yeah, and I had a beautiful house, and I had this lady that told me, "Oh, my mom said, oh, this lady's a great real estate lady." Yeah,
was a friend of hers. So
she came over, a friend of hers. So she just put a sign out in front and said it'd probably take 6 months to a year to sell. And I go, whoa. No, that's not what I want to do. I go, I need you to get out. I'm not getting out of the contract. I said, okay. So I read the contract, and it said the owner says when to have open houses. I could call it open house anytime I want. So I called her up, and I said, well, look, every Saturday and Sunday from here on out, you're doing open houses until this house sells. And she did it, one weekend. And then she tore up the contract and said, and we got this other gal. In 2 days, she sold the house. So, I mean, first couple that went in there bought it. The thing is they didn't have any money. I don't know. They got the loan, got the house, and then they lost it.
I think they got divorced. Is what I think.
Yeah, happened. Something happened. Anyway, but I'd fixed that house. I bought that house cheap, and I had to hold my nose and run through it. They had the people that owned the house before me had all these. It was the wife had left, and it was just. We turned that heater off. It's getting hot. The wife had left, and the husband and the 2 kids and the 5 dogs and the cats and the monkey were all living in there.
That was a monkey.
And I mean, everything was crapping everywhere. There's that word again. Everything was pooping everywhere and doing all these things. But you know what? I had a bunch of buddies, and we went in there, man. We cleaned that house all up, and I threw some paint on it and scrubbed all the carpets, old carpets, and it was good enough to move in. I had to have two buddies live with me, and they lived with me for I think
Off and
for
on.
6 or 7 months, and then I had one guy stay with me for years. And then when my job got so good, he wanted to go get me. I said, "Well, you go get married. That's fine. I can handle this on my own." And then I remodeled the whole house, real bitchin'. So
Larry said he meant to say mobile homes, not our.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I knew what he
Yeah.
was saying. Yeah, well, yeah, and the thing around here is they're real high right now. I mean, a single wide,
They
basically
are very high here.
box is like $85,000.
And
I mean, and they're nothing. There's
yeah,
nothing.
I mean, you can buy old ones like from the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, you
But
can't
they're
move
from the
them though. If you
60s
move
and
them, they fall apart. They catch on
A
fire or
lot of them
something.
don't have axles anymore.
Yeah.
How did it tow back? How did it tow back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s with that new tow system?
How to 30s, 40s.
How did they tow back in the 30s,
Oh.
40s, and 50s? Okay, I got it.
Well, they just balled and hitched them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I was a kid, we had a little trailer, and it had it had big steel bars, and you crank the
Right.
thing up, and then you set them on. It was supposed to help stabilize everything. We pulled a 14-foot Cardinal trailer with an El Camino, and I slept we had a camper shell, and I had two dogs in a sleeping bag and a little mattress back there. That's what I slept. And then my stepdad bought a pickup truck, and he bought just a hollowed out camper. It looked like an overhead. It went over the cab of the truck, but all there was like two benches and then a bed up on top. And I stayed in there, and then my mom and him were in the car, but there was no heat, there was no nothing.
The trailer.
And then they bought a fifth wheel trailer, and it was like, don't walk on the carpet, don't do this. And I hated it. I absolutely hated it. And so that was my experience with when I was a kid. Well, first time we went out camping, my stepdad took us out camping. He he had a old tent, and he got that thing up, and it was like this, and he went in it, and it fell on him, and I mean, and he was a bad dude. I mean, he was a full on biker, truck driver. He looked like Marlon Brando, wore that hat like that, and the whole thing, man. He was a hardcore dude, and man, you could hear some foul language coming out from underneath that tent. It was just going like this with it. And I knew when he got in that mode to just stay away from him. What did Maddie say that's bad? 25 people on here. Yay.
Yay.
Why would they not show that?
Hi, Maddie from Shiro, Texas.
But we got 31 people and 19 thumbs up.
We got
yeah, we're kind of shy on we had 30. Oh, see, I said that we were at 32 and it went down to 30.
Inflation is a built-in tax. Yes. Hey, what did you do with all your mementos, old pictures and stuff?
We have them.
Yeah, they're in storage.
We have them, and we had actually at one time we had two storages, and then we condensed into one big huge one where we had
Stacey,
a door.
Hi. Good to see you. Sorry.
Oh.
I haven't seen Stacy in a while. It's good to see you.
We had a door on one side, and then
Thanks,
and it went all the way through the building to the other side. That's how big our storage was. And then we started doing Harley swap meets. I had a lot of parts, man. I had enough stuff to build like 5 bikes and old bikes. I had all these old parts, all these old panhead and shovelhead parts. And I go to the swap meet, man. The people, we'd have a crowd. So we couldn't even get the trailer unloaded before people were swarming us. So we sold a lot of stuff that way, and we would come back every year and maybe do one swap meet a year.
Yep.
And one time I think we did $4,000 in one day. It was pretty good.
We had a bunch of old Easy Rider magazines still in the sleeve.
Brand new ones. I still got a bunch of the memorabilia stuff. I got a bunch of that
collector
stuff.
Items.
But I don't know. I'm saving that because hopefully someday I'm going to put up another shop here. That's what I need. If I had my building up, life would be good. Life would be perfect for us because I'd have a place to put this. We'd have a place to live. I could work on my stuff. We could start working on the little house inside. And once everything is, well, where Amanda
Jason.
and Jason are going to be parking, that whole setup over there is to run the shop and the house. It's all
Once the
wired
building
and
gets
watered
up.
and sewer and everything just has to be capped into and ran a little further. But that's what the point is. That's actually set on the inside of where the wall will be. And this panel that we're hooked up to is will be on the outside of the building, but we got to fill along the side over here. We got to bring it up about 3 feet and make it all level and rock it all in. And then the motorhomes will come up the driveway facing the opposite direction and park over
Which
here.
is a prettier view.
Yeah,
honestly.
they'll be under the trees.
Jason and Amanda will have that view.
Yeah, you'll have the pasture. You'll be looking out over pasture and the trees and yeah, I mean, I like to watch the squirrels on the wires up here and watch I like to watch who's driving by. So, but once we have the metal building, I won't worry about it because I'll have it all locked down and we know how to secure stuff. Believe me, after having a having a retail electronics stores, two of those, and then doing wholesale, and then we had the motorcycle shop. You had to make it where people couldn't get in, and I'm pretty good at doing that.
We do still have our land, and we're outside of Mena, Arkansas.
Yeah,
that's where we're at right now on our property. We finally got it leveled. Had
all the utilities, rocks,
yeah, water, sewer, and electric hooked up.
We still have everything plumbed for that little shed out there, but the thing is the darn building supplies, and see that's the thing. Like talking about buying a class A or even any kind of RV right now. It's a leap of faith. Right now I'm rolling over my head and I'm praying about buying a truckload of rock. It's going to cost me almost $600 for a truckload of rock. We bought it for $485 before. And I can get a little truck, which is less than half for $300. But if you're going to spend $300, you might as well
spend $580.
Yeah, you might as well spend $500 and $547. I think he said, 5.5, and get the big truck. It's 26 tons, and the other one's 12. So you're getting double over double, and it's costing you less than double. So
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, building wood.
Well, it's going to cost us
very costly right now.
It's going to cost us probably what I want to do. That thing's going to cost $5,000. I mean,
sheesh. Stacy said she bought one sheet of 1/2-inch plywood and one 2x4 today, and the total was $85.
Yeah. See, well, we get better deals than that. I sit right here and watch all the log trucks go by all day. They must be cutting the whole freaking forest down.
I like homesteading channels and Facebook pages and stuff like that. And this couple is building a greenhouse, her and her husband, and it's all framed and it's all from wood off their own land that they milled.
That's the way to do it. But
you can't do the sheets of plywood, but the framing, they did that all themselves. It looks great.
We got enough wood to build a house, but man, those trees, I don't want to get there. They're maple trees. And Destination Nowhere, he's up there in Adirondack, New York, and he's drilling and putting the little deals and getting maple syrup out of the trees or getting the maple sap.
Drilling and tapping.
Then I told him, I said, well, I got 2 great big maple trees, but it doesn't get cold and it doesn't freeze and get hot every single day.
Which is what you gotta have for maple syrup.
I mean, today, well, right now it's 59, pretty warm.
Yeah, sun's going down.
Yeah, sun is pretty much down.
It's been very cloudy though, and like it just sprinkled today.
Yeah.
But it's supposed to rain tomorrow. But just rain.
It's supposed to rain tonight.
Tonight and tomorrow, yeah.
But I love these guys on YouTube where they're great big storms. Here we go. We got the tornado chasers out, and we got this guy. He's got the hands going and crazy. And then they just sit there. They got sirens. They got all these red lights blinking and everything. What's going on?
Do you expect an oversupply of RV set for sale this year?
I do. I honestly believe that you could get deals like we got pretty easy. I think if you're really wanting to do this, now is the time to start putting your cat. Now, this is just my opinion, okay? I mean, I don't want to be held responsible if things don't work out on it, because I'll tell you what, Armageddon could come tomorrow. I have no idea. But I believe, and this is what happened with us, is we didn't even have the money put together to buy this thing when we started, but we had a lot of stuff. Is it me or is that light getting brighter? It seems like it's can't see nothing.
I think you keep looking over there.
Yeah. Anyway, we just kind of said, okay, we are going to do this. And that the hardest part about this lifestyle, the hardest part is saying we're going to do it. We're going to start right now.
Anytime you make a big life-changing decision, that's the biggest thing. Once you've made the decision, it's like, okay, and then one foot in front of the next, and you just get it done.
I think we decided in December of 2009 that we needed to make a change, and we bought this motorhome in March of 2010, and we left to go to Amazon in Coffeeville
in October.
in October.
Yeah.
And we hadn't sold
2010.
Everything. We had to storage a lot of stuff. Like I say, we had the biggest storage in this storage facility. We had it was ours. There was like 5 of them, and they were all the way across. And they were like 20 feet wide. They were big ones, and we had it full. It was full of stuff. I mean, we had beds and we had all kinds of stuff. We had all those motorcycle parts and all kinds of stuff. And it was after you live in a house for 28 years, I mean, it's getting to be this way in this motorhome. I have to keep dumping this, taking stuff to this. One of these days, we're not going to be able to close the door on that storage. But the thing is you just accumulate stuff, and the worst part is, people come up like, oh, look at this cute little doggy like yours, and we got it for you. Here you go. And it's like, and then they leave, and we look at each other, and what the heck are we going to do? Put it in storage. That's all you can do. I mean, you love it. I mean, it's
exactly.
cute.
And
it's all that kind of
stuff. The gesture is kind, but you live in a motorhome. Dougie says his cousin has a lumber mill in Anchor Point, Alaska. He'll give you a discount.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The trucking would be a little expensive.
Run right up there.
We'll just do it.
It's currently 63 here. Dave says Louisiana.
Yeah.
70 in Vegas, short sleeves. And Dave says exactly. Our first month was traumatic for me. It can be. I mean, it's so different, so foreign than,
Well, I told Dave's story a little bit. I think I got it kind of accurate. I don't know. He didn't call me up and yell at me or anything.
We've been on the road since 2015. 2 eggs, 1 basket RV.
Yeah.
It goes fast too,
It's this lifestyle. As soon as you get in the RV, I mean, it's just like, and the thing is your life changes. Like, have a good buddy of mine. He has an upholstery shop where we used to be. And I walked in his shop one time after we'd been on the road with about 2 years or so, 1.5 years, 2 years. And he didn't recognize me. He just goes, Bill. I go, yeah. He goes, I didn't recognize you. And I go, why not? And he goes, well, you just seem so calm and relaxed. And because when you're excuse me, when you're running a business, you have a job, you're here, you're doing your job. When you run a business, you're up here because you're doing everything. I mean, when I had 40 employees, that was the worst time of my life. Worst time.
Driveways.
Oh, okay. Hey, JT. Anyway, when we had the motorcycle shop, it was just her and I. So I did all the mechanicing. She did detailing and helped clean the shop and answer the phones and sell parts, did the books, stuff like that. But we worked together. I mean, she probably knows more about motorcycles than most guys. She had a Harley. She had a beautiful Harley. Just had a little problem with writing it. Well, not writing it. She could write it good. It was
Just
stopping
keeping
and
it
putting her
upright.
foot down. She'd stop and
I
like,
was like that guy on
you need,
Laughing.
yeah, you need to help me pick it up. But anyway, the the thing with this lifestyle is that, and Jason and Amanda know this firsthand. If things are going south on you, I mean, it's levelers up, air up, and you're on the road. I mean, I've never been much of a guy to take crap off of. There's that word again. Take poop off of people. When I worked in the motorcycle shop, a really strong sense of respect, and I mean, I had a president of a big club, and he was the president of one of the chapters, and he just was just lighting up her ears every time he came in there with just totally nothing but foul language, and she didn't like it. And I just told him, and I love this guy. He was a really good guy. I just said, hey, you can't come here anymore. And he goes, what do you mean? I said, I understand the motorcycle world, but I go, my wife works in here. And I go, man, you never hear me talk that way in front of your wife or your mom or anything. I go, man, you're welcome to be here all the time as long as you can hold your tongue. And he had a hard time with it, but he did it. He wanted to be there that bad. he
Hey, Mega Man Mike.
Hey, all right.
Let's see.
I ended up praying for him and like 4 other presidents when they would do these big functions.
Yeah.
And they would come over and have me pray for them. And I mean, I wasn't a preacher. I didn't preach to people. I lived my life. I lived a witness, and these guys saw it and made a big because they saw I had 2 of the craziest guys on the planet one night tell me that I was the craziest guy on the planet. And that when I blew the engine up on my bike on the stand, just being an idiot. And the next day, man, I didn't get up. I got down on my knees and changed my life. So that's where I'm at. And like I say, I'm not preaching to anybody. That's not what I'm about. What I'm about is I'm about living my life to the best for me and trying to help people with this RV thing. Because I'll tell you what, it can be pretty scary. I'll tell you one of the scariest things in the world is when you're driving one of these, 30,000-pound things down the highway and it shuts off. That's happened to us a couple of times.
I emailed my realtor this morning to get the ball rolling. I've got a ton of stuff to sell, Seymour says. Oh, yeah. Awesome. 61 degrees in Kentucky.
The only thing as far as the pre-RV I would do is I think I would try to get a little more money for a few things. I told Darla, sell it, just get rid of it. And we had a $2,600 synthesizer, digital synthesizer. She sold it for $45. I mean, we could have got at least $500 for that. We had this beautiful oak waterbed, had $1,000 mattress in it, the whole thing.
It was nice.
It was very beautiful. She sold it for $500.
How'd it go?
But she told me, she just goes, do you want me to keep it? We can keep it, or you want me to sell it? I said, okay. I had to take myself out of it because all I was looking at was the money. And the thing is we needed to get, because it's just like right now, we pay $40 a month for a storage over here. And it's all it does. It costs $40 a month, which is a lot cheaper than we were paying before.
Right.
But $40 could be going towards a building or towards cement, getting this place built and get that stuff in there.
Dave and Esther have been at it since 2019, and the time does fly. Tomorrow will be 11 months for us, just the 2 of us, Carlos and Linda. Carlos. Yeah. Yeah,
well, they got a hot setup. They got a place for in the summertime in Montana.
Yeah.
And then the wintertime, they kind of like, there's a couple of months.
The best part has been meeting nice people like Bill and Darla.
Who said that?
Carlos and Linda. Just the 2 of us.
Yeah, we met up with them in Montana twice. And then we met up with them. I wanted to do it again, but
Arizona.
Yeah, I was having
some doctor's appointments, and then I got sick.
But she got sick. Yeah.
Hi, Simply Social. What's up? Is we're just doing another Monday night sitting in the living room chat.
Yeah, this one here is probably a lot more.
Current events.
Well, it's a lot more about what's actually RVing, because the thing is
Current events as they relate to full-time RVing.
honestly, at this point, I don't need to see Disneyland. I don't need to see, you know, different the site thing. Everybody's done. I mean, I wanted to go to Winslow, Arizona, and stand on the corner, but I
Everyone
wanted
else has done it already.
everybody. I wouldn't have filmed it. I mean, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things around here that nobody's ever touched that we could go film, and we might do some of that. But because Darla got her computer, she got her new computer,
Yeah.
which
it's fun. It's fast.
yeah, it's like it's more like this one, like I have, but it's the 2022. And then my son, his computer, he usually has like the top of the line, and he spent what, over $2,000 5 years ago, and the thing crashed on him. And I was talking to him about the one I got for Darla, and he goes, "Well, right now I don't know if we want to drop the money." And then he texted me and he goes, "Well, we decided to drop the money," and he got it today, and he's like, "Wow, this thing's fast. I love it." So I'm surprised he's not on here.
Seymour says, "Crap sounds better than poop."
Yeah.
Never regretted a minute, but we got into this to look for land. Jason and Amanda said, when you're on the road, if you don't have home base, how do you get your mail? So we pay a service. We're registered out of South Dakota
right now. That's changing.
We're switching everything over to Arkansas, but it takes time. Anyway,
we go all electronic as much as possible.
We have a mail service that sends us our mail whenever we call. We know we're going to be somewhere for long enough to get the mail, and they'll send everything except the junk mail. They weed out all the junk mail, and then they send it to us wherever we're at. I think it's like $145 a year now.
$144 a year is what the cost. It's $12, I think, a month.
It's your best address.
Your best address
in Sioux Falls, South
Dakota. It used to be a mom and a dad, and the daughter used to do it. Tina was great. And we always, even after this new guy took over, we would contact Tina. But
Tina doesn't work there anymore now.
She quit.
The parents sold the company, and she doesn't work there anymore either. So, but we still use them, but less and less and less.
Well, and when our new contract comes up, we're not going to renew, because the post office over here, the postmaster, we know her.
Hold our mail.
They hold our mail.
It's just small town. John Hunter said, "Sign in an RV shop. Poor planning on your part should not create an emergency on our part." Truth.
What was that again?
Poor planning on your part should not constitute an emergency on our part.
Yeah, well, see, that's the problem. The American people are along on this crazy, like Ozzy Osbourne, the crazy train, man. We're on a crazy train. And, I don't know if Idaho Hillbilly's still on here, but go back and watch his last 2 or 3 videos. I mean, he bought silver, bought guns, he's buying ammunition. We did that stuff a long time ago. We've had that kind of stuff. We're pretty secure on. I've been preparing for life struggles like this for many, many years. And the bad thing about it is we were out boating on this lake out here, and the boat had all my guns and ammo, and it flipped upside down.
Sad.
And I couldn't. Yeah, I don't know where it went. So lost all my firearms and stuff. But that's how that goes.
Scenic driveway. Same happened to us when we sold our belongings. We took a big loss. Yep. Maddie says it's 77 in Shiro, Texas, but the gas is $3.89 per gallon.
Yeah, we got everyone beat tonight, I think.
Yeah. No one's selling out who has felt they got what their property was worth. Women take it harder, John Hunter says.
Well, see, that's what I was saying. See, like, we had our electronics company, and when we had our wholesale electronics company, we weren't tied to a city. When we had our retail electronics, we had a store, we had employees. We had to wait for people to walk in the store. You had to
Right.
sell them.
And we took a hit in that business when the airbase shut down because those guys, they were always buying something.
Yeah.
And then the Air Force Base shut down, and we lost a lot of business.
Well, and then we had a partner that embezzled
that's a whole other chapter.
$191,000 from us, and
By the
that
book.
was a lot of money back in
That's a
the
whole lot of money.
in the 80s, late 80s, or actually it was early 80s, mid 80s.
Simply Social says looking good.
Oh, the light.
I'm thinking about getting a Toyota Highlander just to try it and see if I like it.
Well, you know, the thing is if you can. I'm not a big fan of full timing in a.
Then I can get a casita trailer.
Yeah.
Sorry.
In a travel trailer. That's a casita. But the reason is because you're limited on where you can stay, and that's something you have to know when you buy travel trailers. Have thin ceilings and thin walls and thin floors, and they're not really designed. They're designed to go camping. They're not. Most people don't say, well, you know, it's 12 degrees outside. Let's go camping somewhere. You know, go by a lake and park for the weekend there. If you do, you got to keep the propane heater running nonstop. You know, so my daughter has talked to me about thinking about doing RVing again. She wants to get a fifth wheel. She feels that having the kids in the truck is safer. I was kind of hoping I'm going to make sure she rewatches this, but the thing is there's advantages to fifth wheels, and the biggest advantage I've found to fifth wheels is if you're going to go somewhere and park for 3 or 4 months at a time, all the time, if you're going to be doing that, I think a fifth wheel is probably fine. It's not a, and you got to get a good one. If you buy a cheap one, you're gonna suffer.
Hi, Claudia.
Oh, hey,
You.
but
hi, Ron.
You're going to suffer in the winter time. In the summertime, it's going to be hot. Most of them come with one air, so you automatically have to add another. I mean, it's just fifth wheels. Fifth wheels are good if they're stationary and you get them fixed up so they could be stationary. These big motorhomes like this, I mean, this thing's got the walls are like 4.5 inches thick. And they got the special windows. They got special vents in the ceiling. 9-layer roof. My roof is like this thick, and there's two floor. There's a floor, and then there's a space, and then there's another floor, and all your stuff runs under there, and it just makes a big difference. I mean, when we decided to do this, that was we decided we were going to do it like in I think December or January, and I spent months and months, and we would
researching
when we had days off, we were going and looking at RVs,
which we love to do anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, we went to RV shows, and new ones were just out of the question. I mean, to buy one of these things brand new is like, I mean, it would have been cheaper to keep our house, but I mean, we found this one for 25 grand. I'm telling you. Of course, money is different now, but it could still be done. You could find. I find them once in a while for in the 25 to $40,000 range, and they're pretty nice. I mean, some people take really good care of them, and if you can find people that take care of them, that's the one you want to buy. This one wasn't taken care of. But that's why instead of getting $70,000 for it, she got 25. If it had been taken care of, she would have got more money.
We are not looking for a mail forwarding company in Arkansas just because we're here. When we're not here, they'll just hold our mail for us. And if there's something that I think we need there, my in-laws will go over and pick that up and forward it to us. And they know them, so they'll let the mail go. Let's see. Scenic Driveway says we used America's mailbox in Box Elder, South Dakota. I think they were stealing my Backwoodsman magazines. That's sad. Bill, can I email you and pick an info on an older motorhome that my brother's selling in California? Would like some counsel. See if you think the price is right, etc. He'll take payments. I live on SSI, so payments are good for me. That's Maddie. For sure, Maddie. economicrefugesrv@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Anybody can write us anytime.
And if you're on Facebook,
right?
If you go to Economic Refugees RV, then what I could do is I'll work it out where you can be on my.
Or she can message us on there too.
Yeah. Okay.
Or me.
Or or we could just friend up on Facebook. I don't care. So, I mean, the people most of the people that are on here right now are most of the people that we see on a regular basis. So I don't have any. You guys are great. You guys are great.
Tim Albritton says most of my friends are law enforcement, and they all joke that when the SHTF, they'll come over to my compound and get guns and ammo.
Who said that?
Tim Albritton.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Charlie Porch. You all so like me. It's awesome.
Well,
social everything expensive, right? Whoops.
Good price beaver or safari. Well, I'll tell you, the one problem with the beaver, I looked at a couple of beavers.
Wait, we're way far behind on comments.
Yeah. I looked at a couple of beavers, and Darla said I won't ride a motorhome called the Beaver. But they're great motorhomes. Motorhomes are really good. She just does. I'd have to take all the stickers off, say Beaver.
Everything's expensive right now. Do you see them coming down in
price anytime soon? Absolutely. That's my prediction. And I think right now, as far as RV goes, somebody that's asking a lot of money for one, it's had it for a while, they're going to sell it. They're going to take what they can get. Safaris are probably one of the most underrated RVs in the industry. They're a good quality machine. They're built well. Their kind of floor plans are kind of a little strange, but they're a good solid rig, and a lot of them have the aluminum siding and the real fiberglass roofs, not the fake ones. And,
right. Safaris are like the bigger Treks.
Well, yeah, I think Trek is a really cool RV, only because it's probably the shortest Class A you can buy, and you walk in them and you're like, well, there's no bedroom, and then you push a button and the bedroom comes out of the sky, and comes down. Then you got a big huge bed, and then when you get up in the morning, you just throw your crap up there and put it up, and you don't have to look at it all day.
Would you go back to a cabin or a house?
Well, yeah, I would. I'm going to have to. I mean, there's one failure in this lifestyle, and it's my body. And I mean, after having this clot in my leg, and then I had COVID right after that, I don't even want to tell you what happened to me this last week, but it was horrible. And I'm finally now I can actually start moving my toes again. I showed Darla this morning. To me, it's like a little kid on Christmas. Look, I can move my toes now. So, I mean, it was pretty exciting to be able to do that. The thing is health issues, and I'm a diabetic. So, I mean, the thing when you're a diabetic, anything that happens to you is bad. Anything that happens to you is worse than anything else. So,
Dave Rice says, hey, you charged me to become a Facebook friend. I want a refund.
I did not. I should have, but I didn't. Yeah, I think the prices are going to come down.
What's the name of the shortest RV again?
It's Safari Trek.
Yes.
And they actually they have a 454 gas power. They had a 4-cylinder or something, a Zitsu diesel, and they ran that 6.5 GM motor. What?
I told them he meant Isuzu.
Isuzu.
He always calls it a Zitsu. I don't know why.
And then they ran that 6.5 GM. It was like the old gas powered Oldsmobile things, but they claimed it was a full on diesel motor. They're a little iffy. I know the 454 does not really make they have a lot of power. They just don't have good gas mileage. The Isuzu, is that what
Isuzu.
Isuzu is underpowered, but they got great gas mileage. But you're not going to tow anything with them or anything. You might get away with towing stuff with that
What engine do
six
you
point five.
recommend?
In what? In the Trek?
Simply Social just said, Bill, what engine do you recommend?
Well, I like Cummins. I mean, most of your Safaris, the majority of your Safaris are going to run in the bigger ones.
Yes, Trek.
Yeah,
Isuzu.
well, the 454 is, 454 is what a 454 is. I'm not real. The top ends on the big block Chevys can have problems.
Hey, Sand on the Road, good to see
But
you.
if you got somebody that knows how to work them good, I have a friend of mine who has one of those, has a Bounder with the 502 in it, and man, the top end went out on that thing pretty quick. Cost them a lot of money to get it fixed. The thing is with the 454 parts, are you can get parts, and it's pretty easy to work on them. They're
JT
not too bad.
says I wasn't crazy about my 454 when I was towing.
Yeah.
Is a 300 Cummins good with enough power?
Any of the Cummins motors are great, and the Caterpillar. The Caterpillar motors are really, really good, except for the 3208. Stay away from them. We almost bought a motor. Well, we didn't almost buy it, but we were looking at it. And it was a small one, that Elite, remember?
Yes.
But it had a 3208 Cat. And I had buddies.
Guy put a lot of money in that.
Yeah, he put a lot of money
restoring
in
it.
And but the thing with the 3208, they're not rebuildable. And they're, if you talk to the Cat guys, they'll tell you it's a questionable engine. So, but the inline six is the motor for the torque. I mean, if you want the torque and everything else, the Cummins, the inline Cats, and the Cat's a great, great, great motor. I'm not going to say they're not. The problem
hi,
is,
Odie. Sorry, I had to say hi to my puppy fan.
Oh, when when the Caterpillars break, they're of course uh, the the Cummins are expensive. You go to a Cummins dealer, my God, they just they crap you. Okay, I mean it's horrible.
I'll check that out. Simply Social. Thank you for the idea. Beating Diabetes is a good YouTube channel. All right, Dave. Have a good evening. Tell Lester hello. We have a 5.9 liter, 300 horsepower, and it tows fine.
Yeah. 5.9. Well, the A3 is just a big 5.9. That's all that is. The thing is the 5.9s are usually in a little bit lighter weight. I mean, this thing is designed to pull 44,850 pounds, and I don't think the 5.9s will do quite that much. But the actual RV is a lighter weight when they have a 5.9, and I've tangled with a few 5.9s on hills, and they'll usually pull me. They get going really
Seymour
fast.
says I drove a 300 Cummins in a tractor trailer, and it was underpowered, unacceptable going uphill. I did say hi to Tony, Dougie, and Odie.
Yeah, but when you're when you're in a semi, you're probably getting close to that 80,000 pounds, and if you have this motor geared right, it will pull 80,000 pounds, but it's not going to pull it fast uphill. But it pulls this motor home pretty good. I mean, it's like a big lumbering elephant. It really is. It's not, doesn't accelerate real hard, but it'll go fast. Once you get this thing moving, it's like a train. It just sails.
A 3208 made great boat anchors.
Yeah. Well,
does anybody have a service that finds used RV for finder's fee?
There are guys that do that. I don't know exactly who does it. The problem with 3208 is they're not really rebuildable. This Cummins has liners, so they're like like the old GMCs and all of them. I mean, if you have a, as long as you don't break the block, you can in-frame these motors. You can rebuild these engines right in the truck. You don't even have to take them out.
Scenic
So.
driveways. When our 454 blew up en route to a work camping gig, cost us $8,000 to have a new one put in, and we replaced it with a 454 CI RV spec engine.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what a lot of the guys were doing was putting those 502s in there. But it's just the problem with the 454 is they have the staggered valves, and they just have top end problems. I don't know. I worked for GM, not for the factory, but I worked for the dealerships. Man, I'll tell you, I was a service manager, and we would get people would come in and buy these brand new Cadillacs, and everybody's smiling and waving as they drive away. They get 30 miles down the freeway, and the car goes kaboom, and then they bring it in, and I'm the worst guy that ever lived.
Thanks, Dougie, for letting Tony know that we were live also. Engine with liners is really good.
Yeah. The only problem with those is then you got the seals for the coolant. So you got to maintain your coolant. There's a filter, there's like an oil filter on the engine that that maintains the the pH balance and all that stuff. And if you don't change those filters, you're asking for trouble. That was another thing with this motorhome. When I got it, I think it had the original, well, only had 32,000 miles, but the thing had sat for a long, long time. And I mean, in the beginning, this thing was all about servicing, airbags, and I mean the whole thing. I mean, we went through it a lot, and there's still, as you drive them, it's got about 125,000 miles on it, and it's always due for something. I mean, last night we were having an inverter freak out,
3 in the morning.
Yeah, the inverter light came on. It did it 3 times, and what it is it's the Magnum, and they have a connection when they build them, when they mass build those things. They didn't get something tight enough, and I've got to take it out and go into it and figure out which one it is, and get probably put a new end on the cable and get it all nice and tight. So it's the first time it's done it though in a long time. It shut off for a week. Shut off for a week one time, would not charge the batteries, and then all of a sudden, boom, it started working again. So that was a couple of years ago. So it was pretty new. So I left it alone. Anything else? Anyone got any questions? Engines with liners are really bad. Are really good. Yeah. Yeah. For the money, I mean, that's one thing about if you're into the safaris and you look around a little bit, you can actually find safaris with Cummins in them. And I mean, a lot of times they'll run the 4-valve 5.9, which is 24 valve. I call them 4-valve. Mine I call it 2-valve, but it's 16.
You want to explain that?
Well, there's on this engine, there's a piston and 2 valves. On the 4-valve Cummins, it's a piston with 4 valves in there, and they just flow more air. They make a little more power. They kind of piss me off sometimes. They'll just blow me off. But like I say, part of the thing is that they're not as heavy. They don't make the motorhomes quite as heavy. But they'll pull, man. They pull strong. I mean,
Scenic Driveway says theirs blew up at 13,000 miles on it after it was rebuilt.
Oh, that 454.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those old 2-stroke Internationals have lots of O-rings in the heads. Are those in old RVs? I know they were used in buses and tractors.
Like the old 7.3s. No, they didn't. The RV world, as far as diesel engines, were pretty much Caterpillar and Cummins. And the Cummins won out in the end.
If anyone travels around near Shreveport, you need to check out the place we're at. Where's that, Dave? I like that new Ford 7.3 liter Godzilla gas engine. Lots of torque at low RPM.
Yeah, but your mileage.
Grand Bayou Resort. That's where they're at. Woo.
The thing.
See what happens when you work in the oil fields? You get to go to nice places when you're off time.
The thing. If you're going to compare gas to diesel, you're going to find that the diesel is going to win out fuel mileage all the time.
Tony Cage says hi to Odie.
The this thing here, we've gotten as much as 12 miles to a gallon. This last trip, we were bucking a headwind the whole freaking way home, and we were averaging around 9, 8.5 to 9.
Oh, their gate closed yesterday. Okay. The old 7.3 liter diesel international engines were good engines.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, that was probably of all the Ford diesel motors, that 7.3 was the good one, and a lot of the school buses ran those, and if you could get one with that, I don't know. We talk about Class A living here, and I just the kid I keep sending him little, I call them kites, but little message things, and the thing is that he's got that motorhome. He gutted the thing. It's completely gutted, and he mounted a camera in the back of it. When he was driving it, you could see the walls are. I mean, there's no framing in there to keep that thing steady anymore.
And he kept saying she's light on her feet.
Yeah, the thing's the whole thing's gonna fall off one day, and he wants to turn it into a flatbed or some stupid thing. And I told him, well, now you got all the stuff out of it. Now all you got to do is buy a bus and pick what you want to put back in the bus. And that would be his wisest. And I sent him a thing where the $2,000.
The way he's driving it around now, it looks like a bus with no seats in it because there's nothing in it. And
looks like a rotted out bus.
He likes that look, so he should get a bus.
Yeah.
Anyway,
our train's here.
Not my kid.
Yeah, it's I don't know. He has a hard time making decisions, and when people try to help him make decisions, then he fights people trying to help him make decisions. So he's a likable kid.
Cage. 12 miles a gallon is great in an RV your size. Yeah. An 8.3 with Allison 6-speed gets 7 running this 3,200 pound motorhome sound on the road. Says Dougie says he gets 12 going downhill.
Rolling though, he's going like this. That's because you're doing 127,000 or 127 miles an hour. The thing with this is when we're all hooked up and everything, and we got 100 gallons of fuel, 100 gallons of water, 40 gallons of propane.
And we just had lunch.
When we're going down the road, we're right at about 36,000 pounds, and that's not the motorhome. That's everything. It's
Dave
a truck and the
motor.
motor.
Around 10 towing theirs.
Yeah. Well, he's got the Ford diesel.
Bye, Brad. Thanks for joining.
See you later.
Hope you guys are doing well.
Now, the other side. To go to the dark side, where we're getting to the point where we got to. The thing is if you don't have faith in that that the prices are gonna come down, and like I say, if you think that's what's going to happen, then you need to start preparing for that, because when the time comes where you can snatch these good deals on this stuff, it's going to be short, because there's a lot of people around with a lot of money. They have a lot of cash. You've heard the term lately. We have a lot of cash, but there's nothing to buy. People want too much for their stuff. People want to buy stuff that's for sale, not buy stuff that's too high, that's too expensive. So when people finally do, and they will, because what will happen is people are going to start needing money, and they're going to start needing all these things.
And they're going to be looking at the fuel prices going, we can't even afford to get out of the driveway.
Yeah, we're not going to use this thing anymore because we can't afford to fill the tank. So you want to be prepared for when people start thinking that way. And you have to start thinking that people are going to think that way in order to do this the way I'm telling you, because that's the plan that we have. And when it goes down, when it starts going down, you'll see it. You'll see, get on RV Trader and RVT and those things and watch the prices, and you'll see them start going down. Must sell, you'll start hearing that, or reduce $10,000, these type. And you'll know that you can go and look at a $40,000 price tag and say, I'll give you 25 for it, and they're going to take it. It may take a second. I'm good when I negotiate, and I just stand steady. Well, that's what I can afford. I mean, I've been underneath this thing. I know what it needs. I'm willing to give you 25,000. If you're willing to fix all these things, I'll be willing to give you 40, but I'm not going to buy it like this and give you 40. So that's just how you have to work it. And you have to take your time, cruise slow, go underneath and check from front to rear.
Or take someone with
Yeah.
you that
That
can.
knows, go in it, fire it up, do all that. I never drove it though. It's one thing I didn't do because they had a problem with shutting it off. I said, when you get that fixed, let
But
me
we
know and
ran
we'll go.
it.
Yeah,
We
we
ran
ran it, all that. But if you don't believe that, then what you need to do is you need to start looking at digging in where you're at. Just stay where you're at. Don't leave. Or if you're gonna leave, find a place where you can just go like this and get in the but the problem with leaving now is, yeah, you sell your house for 100,000 more than you pay for it. Well, if you come here, you're going to pay. It's going to seem ridiculously cheap, but I mean, I paid $9,500 for this lot with all the utilities were here. I didn't have to do a well and all that. And my brother thought that was a ridiculous price because he's used to buying an acre for 1,300,
with
1,500
no utilities.
with nothing. It's just a field with a bunch of, like, it's worse to have a bunch of trees and an old house on it because you got to cut all the trees down and you got to get rid of the house. He bought 30 acres that, I mean, he's been trying to get it cleaned up, but he just doesn't have the time. And it's got two old houses that are not worth anything that need to be buried. He's got a bulldozer. He'll just bulldoze a big hole and push the house into the hole. But, I mean, most people don't have that and they got to pay someone to do that. And that gets pretty expensive. So if you're somewhere and you think that things are going to not change, then you probably ought to stay where you're at because you probably have friends and family and things like that. You probably have, your surroundings, all that kind of. Now, if you're Doug, I'd get out of Vegas, but everybody else, I would say stay. Um, Especially if you're in a rural area.
So, along with that goes a caveat. If you're going to buy something older like we did, be sure that you have like a little nest egg so that you can take care of any repairs
A big
along
nest
the
egg.
way. Yeah.
I'll tell you,
you got to be prepared.
We left with $20,000 in cash,
right?
Just to because we didn't know what this motorhome was going to do. And we got down one time. We got down to where we had $1,200, but we put it back, and we had over 20,000, and then we put a bunch of money into this property, and now we're kind of in the middle here right now, and that's why I want to do fireworks. I still want to do that, but I'm processing the price of getting there and getting back.
That's going to be worth it.
If it's going to be worth it, and because I've never done it. If I was doing sugar beets, I'd know how much it was going to cost, or gate guarding. If you can get a gate right now, gate guarding's a pretty good gig.
Yeah. Simply Social says, I agree, have the cash. Dave says, and by God, never show overexcitement. Eldon says, you have a manifold pressure gauge on your motorhome. Key to the mileage is light foot and reduced idle time. Anything over 60, you're just throwing money away. Agreed.
Yeah, that would be a gas engine, though.
Yeah.
Vacuum gauge.
But I mean, you do have a light foot. You don't. We hardly ever go over 62.
Right? Well, I run between
Mostly.
62 and 65, and
That's
the cruise is always on.
For this RV.
Cruise is always on unless I'm in a situation where there's a lot of traffic, or if it's not safe to have the cruise control on, then I won't do it. But I leave it on anytime we're in the trucks. They just go right on by.
JT says people should also make sure they have money to fix what they buy, especially if they can't fix it themselves, because things will break.
Yeah, right? You never know. And
wow.
What?
Sound on the Road says land around here is no less than 10,000 per acre, and he's in Arab, Alabama.
Yeah.
Oh, who's that?
What?
She didn't know we were live.
Who?
We're live, Cynthia.
Yeah, you're missing a really good one.
She could do a rewatch.
Yeah. We're talking about actually
RVs. When to get them.
about buying RVs and how
Right time.
we rolled the dice when we did.
Dave says that's been my concern about fireworks. Also, I talked to Mike last week.
What?
The fuel.
Yeah.
Seen it, James or JT.
The lights going
Same
dim.
happened to us, Bill. We put 10K aside for repairs, and in the first year, our engine blew, costing us 8,000. Yep.
Well,
on your way to your.
But you
first
had the 10
workshop
grand.
visit.
See, you had the
Yeah.
10 grand. That's the secret. When you have no grands and the engine blows up and you have to, then you got to put it on a credit card. So then you put it on the credit card and now you're paying
Interest.
26% or whatever the interest rate is on your
And
card.
it's
I don't
hanging
know.
over your head and making you
Yeah.
sick. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've been rolling the dice a little bit here right lately by putting a few things on a credit card, but we have the cash to pay it off.
Yeah.
So it seems like every day cash gets worth less. I mean, it just keeps going. That's why gas prices are going up, because our money,
That's part of why.
our money worldwide,
They spend money.
80% of the money in this country, the dollar, is in overseas banks. 20% is here. That's all the. We only have 20% of our own money. 80% of our money is in foreign banks. And when those people decide that our money isn't worth it anymore, they're going to start returning that money. And then they're going to have to raise interest rates on us, and everything's going to go wackadoodle. So that's the other side of this. And what's it? Anyway, when that's rolling the dice. That's where we're at right now. And that's why I'm saying
the resident in the White House signed an executive order today stating that we are sending all fireworks to Ukraine to fight the Russians.
Yeah.
Freaking idiot.
Well, that thing over there has been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
Long time. And you know, it would be like if my neighbor next door over here had a grudge against me and he kept moving his house closer and closer and closer. Pretty soon we were door to door. That's what's happened to the Russians over there. They got to put that NATO right up next to them. And you know, when they did that over here in Cuba, you know, Kennedy said, "Hey, get those rockets out of here, or we're going to push the button." And that's what
Simply Social, that had to have us approve posting it, by the way.
Yeah.
Crazy YouTube.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well,
check out the history of the election in 2014.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Well, and their president's an ex like punk rocker, and he was assigned that. He did, and it's ran by neo Nazis. So
what didn't they say? Ocasio-Cortez was like some contestant.
Yeah, she worked in a bar.
Anyway, they appointed her. She's got her position because she. It kind of reminds me of a game show, and she won. We lost.
One thing about our media is they have no problem lying to our face. No problem. And they will tell you what they want you to hear and what they want you to believe. And if you don't believe them, you are a conspiracy theorist, you are a liar, you're a terrorist, you're a truck driver, you're every negative thing on this planet. And the negative people are the ones that are pointing the finger at you, because we're good people. The American people are great people. We're the most generous nation in the world. We take care of more people. We help more people. But our government is causing a lot of problems.
Russians are trying to be
the American
the new
people
Rome.
Are great.
They fancy themselves the successors to the original Roman Catholic. Putin sees himself as the defender of the faith, but they're standing mostly alone now. Well,
actually, they got India and China on their side. That's just a recent development. There's a lot more to this. This is so deep, and this has been going on. A friend of mine from elementary school sent me a thing yesterday, and it was this guy and his wife and kid he's a truck driver for Walmart, and he went down into these tunnels to deliver. They have a freaking city all the way just about everywhere in this country, man. You can go all the way from the East Coast to the West Coast and never come above ground. It's crazy. And people, oh, you're crazy. You're crazy. Yeah. Well, I just watched a truck driver drive 250 miles underneath ground. If you could do 250, you could do 2,500. It's only 10 times
Ukraine
further.
has gained the approval of Constantinople and Greece, which is causing a new schism.
Well, just, you know what? Don't let your eyes deceive you what you see. Because I'll tell you what, I think it was last week we were talking about where it showed this little kid and he's walking along the edge of this building and it's got to be, what, 30 stories up.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're like, oh my God. And he's like, he's like 3 years old or something. It's like, someone's got to grab that kid. Well, then all of a sudden,
It's green screen.
it's just, yeah.
Green screen.
Well, it wasn't green. It was, they just
Green screen
put an image on there. Yeah.
That's what green screen is.
Well, green is what the news
know.
people, yeah. You know what I'm talking about. It's
Don't-
a CGI.
Remember, don't forget your towel. Explain that to me. I don't get it.
Who's that?
Jason Manda.
Oh.
I think Russia may see themselves as having the divine edict, the true church, and blessed by God to subdue his enemies. Scary.
Well, it's either the beginning of a great new time in America or it's the end. And that's what it is. That's the truth. That's where it's good versus evil.
Always.
You got to choose which side you're on.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Oh. I'm going to have to check that out because I still don't get it. When you get here, you need to like sit down and watch the movie with me or something.
Yeah, I got 2 TVs I haven't turned on in months, huh?
Tony in California, you're both speaking truth, 100%. Watch V for Vendetta on Netflix. Okay.
We don't have Netflix. We got rid of, the only thing I have is Pluto TV, and that's because it's free. And there's one guy on there that I like to watch. And then there's a couple of ghost shows that I like to watch too.
Do you think Russian economics and systems are a good thing? Are they presenting the best form of government, or are they a bunch of thugs?
You know, I don't know that much about Russians other than as kids, we were brought up to hate them.
That's true. We were.
Where they were our enemy. We were always threatened by nuclear weapons by them. And that's why you had to get under the table in school to protect yourself from nuclear weapons.
Yeah, bomb drills.
That's like wearing masks during COVID. You could see you can fool some of the people some of the time, or you can fool all the people some of the time and some of the people all the time. Not anymore. You can fool pretty much all the people in this country, it seems like, all the time. I mean, we were staying in too. We were forced to stay in. I mean, I got sick and I knew it was not a good thing. I just didn't think that it would ever be something that was turned on us. How's your computer, Steve-O? You like it?
Drop and cover, Charlie says. How about the actress that's been all over, including Ukraine? The video with the moving body bags is interesting.
Yeah, I saw that one too. Yeah, I show all these body bags and people are moving in them. Should have filled them full of pillows.
Oh, for COVID, you mean?
No, for this war.
Oh, okay.
They're showing all these dead bodies, and then people are over there moving around inside the body bags.
Mutually assured destruction hasn't gone away. It's still present, but Russia has realized they can wage self-serving wars with MAD as their backstop. They asked Big
Mutual destruction.
They asked Big T about Russians being murderers. He said, "How about George Bush Sr.? You don't think he has killed?" Right.
Oh, yeah. George Bush Sr. is one of the most evil men that's ever lived. That whole family, even Laura Bush, killed.
New computer's awesome. he says.
Oh,
That's why I don't watch the news. Do you really believe what you see on TV? Hey, Teresa. It's Putin, not the Russian people.
Right. It's not the people. It's not the German people were not crazies. They come out of hyperinflation and all these things, and Hitler went in there and said, "Look, we're gonna build our country back up, and people are gonna have good jobs, and you're gonna have medical, and you're gonna have all these things." And that's nothing different than what we're hearing now.
David Rice, how about the price of eggs in China? Wasn't it tea in China?
Yeah.
It's never the people.
I mean, the thing is it's a very, very small group of people that are just destroying everything.
Yes, Mina has a history with the Clintons and the Mexican cartel. That's how he got his money to run for president.
Yeah, we did a video.
It is the people that are hurt the most.
We did a video on the airport over here, and I got a thing out of India from a guy warning me.
We were just talking about history, you know. This is where it happened. This is where it went down. And we were just kind of filming certain scenes and got a weird text from some guy.
India, and yeah. he said that you're
on the radar.
You're on the radar.
Whatever
you need
means.
to be careful. So, I mean, believe me, they are watching
everything.
Each and every one of us and everything we do. That there's a computer in Utah that's like massive, and they just store all this information on us.
It's crazy. Someone here in the U.S. suggested sending Russian students back to Russia. The U.S. is still a superpower, and even though we've lost our way a little, wasting time feeling guilty for our success, we're still the superpower, and Russia and China better remember that.
We have generals that are more worried about making sure that people use the right pronouns than they do breaking and killing things. That's what the military is. Military is designed for one thing. They're designed to go into an area and break things and kill people until the people submit, and then that should be it. We don't do that anymore. We go in and play these games so that the military complex in this company can make trillions of dollars of money. That's what it's all about. It's all about all this. It's all about money. And it's taking the money from us and giving it to a very small group of people. Very small. Makes me angry.
I think it makes a lot of people angry.
And the thing is it's really hard once you get on that to get off of it, because it's just too easy. You become a congressman. Look at it. I mean, you do 2 terms, you're good for the rest of your life. You don't ever have to worry. Nancy Pelosi's worth $100 million, and she's never worked a job in her life. She's been in the Congress. How can you?
She
same way with
ice
Biden.
Cream we can't afford.
Biden's the same way. He's been in there for almost 50 years, and he's worth. They don't even know how much money he's worth. But you know who the richest man in the world is? Putin. He's the richest man in the world right now because he's smart. I mean, he's got us on our knees begging for oil. We're going down to Venezuela begging for oil. Those people eat out of trash cans. And it used to be a very wealthy country, but that's what all this socialism and stuff does to you.
It certainly appears that we're distracted by wokeness, but if it comes down to it, we'll swipe away the pacifist progressives and take care of business.
Well,
I'm not going there. Maybe when we get there, we can have that discussion.
Who said that?
Who's coming?
Oh, okay.
700 million she made, 70 million last year from inside training. Did you guys see that guy in Cabot, Arkansas? No? Tell us simply. The body bags with people moving that I saw were from Iran a few years ago. Have not seen anything lately.
Well, this was just
MA
yesterday
fighter?
I saw.
An MA fighter? Hashtag let's go Brandon. I thought Elon Musk was the richest. All of them make millions from Pfizer. True that.
Yeah, well all the media
Elon Musk is just the funniest. Yeah, he was on Fox News. And so about RVing.
Yeah, we got to do our little
Mix things
political
up.
spin. I think Idaho Hillbilly's gone though.
Yeah.
We
Too
lost him
bad,
around.
because he like really
We lost him around
chimes
Class
in.
A's.
Said he'll fight for Arkansas, but not for Ukraine. Really? He's an MA fighter?
MMA.
Oh, I don't. MA fighter is what he said.
I got one of those little news
Haven't
alerts this
Arkansas.
morning. It was for Arkansas. It was
Hi, RV
somewhere,
Davy.
and it was in White County, and it was all, and it was a like a young guy, and he got caught with a gun and meth, and he
At
was in a
Walmart.
Walmart parking lot. I'm like, dang, this is the perfect
Can't get no more
Arkansas.
Southern.
Yeah,
Dad, do you ever listen to Joe Rogan?
I have.
MMA
I
from
have.
Cabot, Arkansas. Yeah, okay.
What? Yeah, MMA. Do I ever listen to Joe Rogan? I've listened. I just snippets of him.
I'll ask Joe if he ever listens to you.
He might. You never know. He's the like got a huge podcast. He does like 11 million views a day.
As there you go, RV Daily has been watching CNN. Scenic Driveway, see you, JT, Joanna. Gotta go. Have a great night.
Yep.
God bless
Bye
you.
bye.
We'll take that blessing. There's currently the biggest percentage of people leaving corporate world for van dwelling, SUV dwelling, and motorhome full timers. Dan Bongino is good.
Yeah.
Bless your heart, Maddie. Trying to get us back into the
If you
RV combo.
if you look into like professional sports, there's people that live in vans, live in small motorhomes. Look at the NASCAR guys. They basically live in RVs most of the year, you know. When they're traveling around, they just live in Newells and Prevos.
Yeah.
We actually went into Danica
Elton
Patrick's.
lives in White County.
Who?
Elton.
Yeah.
Eldon, sorry.
Yeah, we went in her Prevost, looked at that over there at Quartzsite. Some guys. Well, they brought some more this year, didn't they?
Is CNN still around?
Yeah, but they don't. No one watches them anymore.
RV Davy, if I were president, Russia would be off the map along with North Korea, Iran, China, all gone. Littering and dumping is becoming a serious issue on BLM land. I agree. Elton lives in
Searcy.
Tanya, right? Lives in Searcy. Yes, and Mark Martin has a sweet Class A. Holy moly, it's awesome.
I thought I was going to make it, but I can't. I got to go use the restroom, guys.
We got 15 more minutes.
Yeah, 15 minutes or so.
I know, yeah. There are several companies in the last 2 years custom building vans for full-timers, but their prices are ridiculous. One of the newest ones I saw is Trent and Alley. They have a YouTube channel, and they were full-time van dwellers, but they've since bought property in Utah and built a tiny house, which is not really tiny. But now they do mountain-made vans. So their content has switched from full-time RVing to building the house. They're going to build a garage. They've got a shop now, and they've hired people to build vans out. And they're not cheap. They're not cheap. You're right. But they're custom, so, you know. Yeah, Trent and Alley. Dave says, hey, Bill, wait. Becca Naiman. Are they building vans? I know she's got cancer right now. Kind of took a side turn on that. Need new water heater. Any recommendations? Teresa says. Anyone worried about World War III? I think that would be Armageddon.
Yeah.
Teresa's looking for a new water heater. Any recommendations?
Well, she's close to that PPL down there, Texas. I would contact them. They're pretty reasonable. I bought air conditioners and stuff from them.
Yeah.
So I've had to replace both ACs. Hopefully, I don't have to replace any this year. But yeah.
Please ask Dad how he spells relief. Tinkle.
Oops, sorry, Kate. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry.
Some politician may try to make a name for him or herself by restricting camping on BLM land. Just my opinion. I agree.
Well, that BLM thing's kind of a trick too, because they they won't sell that land. Some of that land was privately owned, and they take it away from people, and then they make it BLM, and that makes it okay, so that because people can go on it. But I think as time goes on, what they want to do is they want to eliminate a lot of the national parks, and they want to make them just closed off areas where no one can go. So
This week I'm going to do water heater service, new anode rod, and a vinegar flush.
who's doing that?
Dave Rice.
Yeah. I used to do that every year. I haven't done it for a while. I probably need to pull ours
So
out.
what brand of water heater do you recommend though? If she's going to call PPL,
The one that's in there.
same one as what's in there.
Yeah.
Whatever you got, Teresa.
Yeah. Just get the
It's PPL. They're in Texas.
right PP. Isn't that what I said?
I think it's by San Antonio. Yeah. PPL.
Yeah, it's PPL.
PPL.
Just if you open the door, there's a little thing, a little plaque, and it tells you everything about it. Just call them up and tell them you need one of those. They can be a little expensive, but is yours leaking or what?
Maddie says I'm leaving Earth when the trumpet sounds, so I'm good.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Is it because they're running out of money to keep these parks open?
No, it's because they don't want us to use them.
Water.
Believe me, these people are demons.
Okay. You're talking. Oh yeah, you're right, Dave. The water from those tanks when you're gate guarding is nasty, and it will gunk up your onboard water heater. And yes, you should service it because of that, if for no other reason. These people are trying to destroy our country. UFC fighter. Hi, Vince Simmons from Florida. Hey, RV Quilt Quest. Hello. We still need to get together with her.
Yeah. She doesn't like to. She doesn't like us. Everybody make sure you punch the like button for us. It helps.
PPL have Atwood like.
Yeah, we have an Atwood.
Dometic bought them.
We have an Atwood water heater, and we have an Atwood heater.
Dometic bought Atwood?
Yeah, probably. They're buying everything. Now it's all Chinese, then I imagine, but
they want to track us. Don't want you to live off grid.
The thing about, like, when you buy one of these RVs, our water heater is 110 propane and runs off of engine coolant. And our refrigerator is 12 volt, 110 and propane, instead of just a two-way, to this, to that. And then we have a coolant heater under our bed in the bedroom, so that when we're traveling, before we go to bed, we just hit that the button up here on the dash, and by the time we get parked, the bedroom's warm.
Thanks, Maddie. Just 20-year-old things stopped working. Just time for a new one. Teresa says. It's Dave says that water has already plugged one bathroom faucet from the hard water. RV Davey, how is the Soviet Union so military so wealthy? And Rhonda says, you say when?
I say when?
Yeah, to get together. Don't put an anode rod in an Atwood water heater. Ask me how I know.
Well, I think it's the aluminum ones you don't put the.
Billy and Brenda.
Oh, Billy and Brenda. Oh, hey. I think you put the anode rod in the aluminum ones. It's one or the other. Yeah.
Teresa wants to get a dual LP electric.
LP electric. Yeah. Well, that's what you should have in there now, I believe.
Well, are we talking about the potato? The rod is fused in there, Jason said. On the Atwood.
On theirs? Well, you could probably get it out of there. You just have to work at it.
No, I think that's how it comes from the factory.
Oh, it is.
Is that what you're saying?
No.
Norway did things right. They struck oil and invested in renewable energy. Hot already in Phoenix, R.V. Davy says. R.V. Davy, you were sick? Did we know that?
Yeah.
I'm glad you're better. Yeah, Atwood water heater.
Is it the rod? You mean it's too tight? You can't get it loose, or what? Because if you do it when it's hot, you could probably work it loose and just keep working it back and forth until you get it to start walking out. But you don't want to. What people do is they let them cool down and they try to break them loose.
You guys bought you a battery car yet?
Yeah. Pedals are going to be like the Flintstones.
No, just LP in the new one. No anode rod for sure. The tank acts as anode rod in an Atwood. Okay. We'd love to drill it out. It's fine. It still works. Well, maybe you and Bill can look at that when you get here.
I got some big tools here, man. We could just buzz it out of there. Just twist the whole tank up, getting it out. Well, hey guys, you get tired?
No, that's what Jason and Amanda said. Yes, I'm getting tired.
Yeah.
You guys, thank you so much for hanging in there with all our silly talk. It's really not silly. It's just...
well, and hopefully tonight, some of the things we said were a little bit helpful.
So, buy low, sell high. Buy low, sell high.
Yeah, and when times are good, you save. When times are bad, you buy.
So if you sell your house now and you want to buy somewhere else, take your time until the prices go back down.
The best thing, if you sell your house for a ton of money, go rent for a while.
Yeah.
And then,
or get an RV and cruise around, see where you want to live.
That's a good idea. And like I say, I think the prices with the gas prices, when the price of gas goes up, the big cars are hard to sell, and the big motorhomes are hard to sell. And that's when you get the nice ones, man. You'll get in you'll get in way more than you ever thought you could get for a lot less money. That light went away, and now look at that thing's doing the little
little halo thing.
Yeah,
the aura.
Yeah, you could see my angel baby.
We out-talked our light.
Well, battery lasted 2 hours. I got another battery over there, but I'm not going to get up and change it.
Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we do enjoy everyone seeing you and hearing your comments and stuff, and appreciate the thumbs up, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, share this video. We'd like to get a little more action. It would be fun. We're going to try to, now Darla's got that new computer, we're going to try to do a little more things. And I love the intimacy of this, the way this is. And we'll try to keep that as much as possible. But we really do enjoy talking with you guys and sharing this time. And hopefully we can come up with some interesting content and get some videos out there. So everybody have a great week. And don't forget to duck and cover. Okay?
Good night, guys. Thank you.